Minister.
Yeah, thank you very much, CJ. I will firstly request your indulgence because I have some few questions.
You want to go to town?
No, I won't go to town, CJ. Good, good morning, DCJ.
Good morning, Minister.
Thank you.
You see, Jay, the minister looks like she is saying, I've been waiting for this opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I think he wants to hit back for the claim for institutional independence.
I heard the DCJ firing me from work. DCJ, my first question relates to the scheme of the Constitution, and from your presentation, and I appreciate, particularly with regards to the judicial-led court administration model. I appreciate that it's a policy-laden environment, which some of the issues I believe we will engage with them as through the processes that are already established. But I'll just ask one or two questions in relation to that for the benefit of the public. One is that I do also acknowledge that from the executive it has taken long, but we are now ready to engage as we have already started the process on this matter. The scheme of the Constitution envisages a cooperative relationship between the three arms of the state, while recognizing the doctrine of the separation of powers. And from the executive side, we're expected to facilitate access to justice. How do you envisage the executive continuing to facilitate access to justice in a judicial-led court administration model?
I'm not entirely sure why the executive would not be able to assist if help was needed, Minister. For example, in the executive itself, if there is a department that needs assistance, I'm just trying to think of a concrete example where we had that the Department of Education, for example, asked for the transfer of certain rights, transfer of certain functions from the Department of Public Works to ensure that it carries out its mandate successfully, because the Department of Public Works was lacking in one form or another, and that transfer of functions was allowed. And I do not see why the OCJ would not be able to approach another department that it thought might be able to assist in one form or another where the need arose. The executive functions separately from the legislature. Well, the three arms function separately from one another. But we have had, for example, a case of a branch of the National Assembly, the Justice Portfolio Committee, for example, conducting a roadshow of the courts, which one would ordinarily assume to be a duty of the executive. They conducted a roadshow of which was a review of the status of the court system, the court, the status of the court infrastructure, among other things. And that exercise proved to be invaluable. So there will always be ways in which, at the end of the day, I think the focus should be that we are working towards one goal while we are separate. We are still working to serve the South Africans. So where there are areas where there can be cooperation, then help can be lent, if I can put it in several terms.
Yeah, my second one relates to the budget issues that obviously have arisen from the presentation, in that, as you have said, in the judicial-led court administration, it will then be handled by yourselves. We account to Parliament for the budget and so forth. How do you envisage the judicial-led court administration accounting to Parliament with regards to the budget, and the fact that, as you are aware, the budget remains the prerogative of the National Treasury through the executive? How will you account to Parliament for this budget and these processes?
It seems to me that Parliament is the cradle of our society. It seems to me that that's where the judiciary should account as well. In the same way that the executive does, I don't see why the judiciary should do things differently.
Okay, I think I get it, that the Chief Justice will then be the one who goes to the National Assembly or to the Portfolio Committee to account for this budget.
Not necessarily the Chief Justice. The Secretary General of the Office of the Chief Justice will go to Parliament.
Yeah, we account through the executive. It's not the Director General, it's myself who goes and account. For Parliament is the Speaker as the other arm of the state. But maybe there could be some special measures, as you say, but maybe I will leave that for further engagement in another platform.
Well, if it must be the head of the institution, then the head must go and account to Parliament.
Okay, no, that's fine. So I'm taking this because in one of your earlier introduction, you raised the point that you have found it now very difficult that you are also administratively burdened when you're in your first interaction with the CJ, that you also have to do judgments, your real court work, and also have to handle all this administrative work. Will this not further overburden the judiciary with a lot of administration work when you also have to run a department?
The Office of the Chief Justice is there to render the necessary support, and it will continue doing that with more powers now.
Yeah, my last question, DCJ, relates to also almost flowing from this, that it's a challenge which we have in government, with a shrinking budget for everyone, all state entities, government. There is a shrinking budget, and I'm aware that you are concerned as a judiciary that you are not consultant when this happened, and there's a process to deal with that. But my question is, how are we going to implement? How do we envisage implementing this vision in this environment of a shrinking budget for the fiscus?
There are departments that have been excluded from budget cuts. From example, we can't speak for them. We don't know what motivation they gave to be excluded from the budget cuts. The issue with us is that the Chief Justice was not consulted in this process, and the strange part now is that the judiciary is said to be excluded, but then the department that actually runs its operations is not excluded. All that the judiciary does is to adjudicate cases. The props for that operation are run by the Office of the Chief Justice. This tells me that if there was a will, as one must assume, to exclude the judiciary, then shrinking budget or not, money would have been found for the judiciary, just as it has been found for the other departments that have been excluded. For example, I think education is one of those.
Thank you very much, DCJ. Thank you, CJ.
Thank you. While